So I grew up in São Paulo. I'm originally from Brazil. I moved here to Miami 3 years ago only. So most of my life was spent in São Paulo. Um, I feel like my first approach to art was at school. It was really through drawing. Drawing was something that was always part of my life. I grew up with a mother that would always leave me tiny little notes with drawings. And drawing for me is connected to the expression of love and a primal instinct that every single human being throughout history have, like anyone can draw. So that was my first interaction with what could be known as art in a way, in a sense, not in like contemporary or modern art, studying art in a sense. I was always also a lot very fascinated by drawing, and that was when I was 15 years old. I knew that I wanted to draw for the rest of my life, and by drawing I mean expressing myself through art. And later I understood that when I was 15 I had no idea. I kind of, like, Picasso and Monet and, these magnificent vanguardist people who shaped the art world. But when you're little, you don't have the idea or the power or the structure and the cultural shapeness that art brings. And I only learned that later on when I started to go to art school. And for me, I was always drawn through drawings. And growing up in Sao Paulo, I'm a city girl. Sao Paulo is the biggest city in Latin America, only overpowered maybe by Mexico City. We have 14 million people living in one city, which is completely insane. It's like the most concrete jungle I've ever seen. There are millions and millions of buildings. You see the sky always cut up. And that relationship with such a vicious and frantic city made me always want to step away from it and always be connected to nature. So growing up, every time that I could, all the possibilities, all the openness that I had to be in nature or at the beach or in the mountains or in the forest, I took it because it just made my mind stop in a way. It just gave me so much peace and so much stillness that we don't have at a city like Sao Paulo or like New York. So when it was time for me to decide what I wanted to study in university, I wanted to draw. So first of all, I wanted to do cartoons or animation. So, but back then in 2004, I think in Brazil, we didn't have any course that would, that I would do that it would signify university on animation. So I thought to myself, what can I do that will empower me to draw for the rest of my life? And then art came into place. And I went into this world of art blindly. I had no idea what it was. I had no idea the vastness, the importance, anything. I was just like, yeah, let's draw, like very, very naive in a way. And art school showed me and shaped me in a way that shifted my idea of how to perceive art in a way, how it really has the ability of changing people's mind or influencing people's heart, which is something that I am completely in love with, that fact that art can, generate change. So that for me, that was something that struck me really, really early on art school. And the fact that I was fortunate enough to have parents that allowed me to do whatever I wanted, like they never turned their face to me and said, well, you're not going to make money with art. Why are you studying art? That's, that doesn't make sense. Because in so many areas of my life, they believed in whatever I wanted to do. So they trusted me, with that decision. And I feel like so many people don't have that same luck. So I was able to dive 100% fully in my practice to understand who I am and what would I want to talk about.